Growing up, I loved to hunt and fish. And when I graduated from high school, I decided to add archery deer hunting to my repertoire. Well, of course, the first thing I had to do was find a bow and some arrows. And I was shopping around, and I found a guy that had what back then was really newfangled way to flip arrows around. The compound bow. Now, a regular bow, the bowstring just hooks to both ends of the bow. On a compound bow, the bowstring is hooked to cables, which are threaded up and down through what look like pulleys, but are actually cams attached to the end of the bow. And it looks like you have this heavy-duty spider web. And as you draw the string back, the cams turn out. And when you let fly the arrow, they snap in, greatly multiplying the force of the arrow. Really high-tech stuff. And the guy put together a hunting package for me that was just a little more than I could easily afford. As he was ringing me up, he says, "Now every time you take this out, you check the string and the cables for nicks or wear spots." I said, "Why is that?" He says, "If one of them snaps in your hand, you'll think you stuck your arm into a weed eater." "By the way, you got eye protection?" "No." He nodded toward a rack of sunglasses. I went over, I picked out a pair of wraparound sunglasses that really made me look cool. Well, I went home and I practiced every day all summer. And I got pretty good. So, on opening day of the deer hunt, I was at the trailhead up on the mountain just as it was getting light. I was following this trail around a steep hillside and I stepped on a loose rock. I went down, banged my knee, scraped my face, and I knocked the bow against a rock. Well, the first thing I did was raise those wraparound sunglasses that made me look so cool. And I checked my strings and cables. They were all right, no nicks. But what I failed to see, which would prove significant a short time later, was that when I banged that rock with the bow, it took a little chip out of the side of that upper cam, about the size of a dime. Oblivious, I followed the trail around the mountain, and I came to a place where a brushy draw came up the mountain, and I saw movement down below. There was just antler tips above the bushes, but they were coming up the hill. And as I watched, they grew into a really nice rack. And then a rack with ears. And there was another set of ears behind it. There was a buck and a doe coming right up this draw, and it looked like they crossed my trail about 20 yards in front of me. I just hunkered down behind a bush, waited for him to step onto the trail. Then I cocked up like a jack-in-the-box, drew back, aimed, let fly the arrow. Some long whippy thing was beating me. I thought I'd been jumped by a ninja octopus with a bullwhip and a weed eater. That chip on the top of the cam and allowed the cable to come out of the groove and cut it when the bow snapped tight. I had cuts on my shirt, welts on my arms and on my cheek, and my wraparound sunglasses that made me look so cool had been snatched off my face. But I didn't have time to feel sorry for myself. My arrow had hit the buck. But it was not a fatal shot. The arrow had passed through the fork of his antler on one side and buried the head just beneath the fork on the other side. And he was dazed like he'd been hit with a hammer. Surprisingly, the doe hadn't run off. Her hind feet seemed anchored to the ground, but her front feet were mincing around. And when she turned toward me, I saw why. She looked so cool with my wraparound sunglasses clamped tight over her eyes. She didn't know what to do. And finally she gave a little snort and a jump, and that kind of woke up the buck, and he shook his head, and that rattled the arrow shaft in his antlers, and he snorted and jumped, and they started snorting and jumping all over the hillside, and then they got a beat going. A tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. Tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. Tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. And then they went face to face. A tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. A tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. A tacky, tacky, snort, jump, jump. And then the doe turned and led the buck away. Both of them still doing the venison Watusi. Rattle, rattle, snort, jump, jump. Down through the brush and around the mountain and out of sight. With my arrow and my wraparound sunglasses. But I did have to admit, with those glasses on, that deer really did look cool.